Welcome once again, Shadow and Flame followers. This is the third and final part of the Great Beast of Gorgoroth series. This video will focus completely on the crew, the little orc archers that sit in the howler. So let's get to it. So now it's on to the crew. The orcs themselves. If you remember back to part 1, we had a look at some of these on the sprue and noticed some pieces missing, like this the hook on the bow there on the bottom is missing. This one's got some rather nasty bubbles in the leg there. They're going to need filling up, and we had that finger missing on the pointing orc. So these have all been clipped off the sprue, as you can see, and now I'm just going to tidy these up a little bit, just get rid of those tags so that it stands flat in the howdah. Just going to file the bottoms of those, tidy them up a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect because you won't see the bottoms of the feet once it's attached. Okay, that'll do. Right. So I think we do these bubbles first, get those out of the way. It's just a case of working it into the hole there and trying to match the contours of the orc's clothing. Remember to keep your tools moist with your Vaseline, and that way it doesn't pull the putty off the mini as you're working it in. Okay. Quite a big one, that. Gonna need a bit more. Just switching between the tools there. Just find it easier blending in with this spoon shape tool. Okay, just a thin one here. Okay. Right, let's try that bow now. And this is a bit like the spikes we did on the Howder, just on a little kind of cone shape. And we're going to try and press that on. Could be fiddly. You just want to try and copy the opposite side of the bow as best you can. If you can't get it exactly spot on, like I say, don't worry too much again, because the Orcs are known for their raggedy style and unsymmetrical ways. It's not too bad. I think we'll get away with that. And this guy with the missing pointy finger, exactly the same thing, just on a smaller scale really. I'm going to have to try and roll up a very tiny sausage of pie. And then the hardest part is getting it attached. Once you do that, the rest is fairly easy. Just trying to gently pull it out a little bit more. Make it a little bit longer. It's looking good. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. So that's that done. I'm just going to go right through the other orcs and check for bubbles and fill those in, and then we'll have a look at the pike orc, which will need some assembly. So all the orcs are now fully repaired, and I'm going to put those to one side for the moment. Okay, now this one is the pike holding orc, and he's the one that steers the beast. Now he comes with a pike arm that's separate and needs attaching to the rest. Okay, now as you can see, this fine cast isn't the best for thin straight casts. You know, it's kind of bendy, and also here's another one I've got. This one, you can see the quality isn't the best. If we can get that focused there. Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it's almost hollow. It's that bad a cast. So what I like to do is to replace the fine cast spear with a metal one. I mean, if we go back to this better cast one, although we can put that in the water easy enough. I'll do that now actually, just to show you. Yeah, so you can kind of stretch it and straighten it. Okay, so that's a bit better than what it was. But you'll find over time, because they're so thin, that will start to droop when it's actually fitted on. Especially in warmer climates, you're going to end up over time just being very limp and inadequate looking. So regardless of the cast quality, I always like to swap out my fine cast pikes and replace them, if I can pick it up, with a metal rod. Okay, that's all it is. I think this is brass, but anything will do. Even a paper clip, if you can straighten it out well enough, will suffice nicely. Okay. What that does mean though is that we'll have to completely remove the pieces we don't want and cut away the pieces we do want. Right, so we're going to need that head. Okay, so we'll keep that. That's gone. Just clean that up a little bit. Now what I'm going to do next I've got to drill right through that hand to allow for the rod, and it's just easier to hold while it's still attached to that bit. I could cut it off completely, but holding a hand that small while you're trying to drill it is not the easiest, believe me. So I'm just going to get my 1mm drill bit and very carefully find the right spot and attempt to go right through this hand. It'll be a bit fiddly to start with, just to get it started, because obviously you want it in the right place. Just keep checking. Make sure you're going in the right direction. Okay, it's coming along. Just keep nice and gently, a little bit at a time. Okay, eventually it should come out the other side. Okay, once you go through, you can cut that hand off. Where's my knife? There it is. Okay, and just check that it is all the way through. Okay, that's good. And then slide it on to your replacement pike. Simple as that. So, and it's just same thing with this hand. Just going to remove this piece and drill slightly into that one. Just going to cut away what we can. Just gently cutting it away. Okay, so just kind of try and get a little bit of a seat for the pin to sit in. You see, quite fiddly. It's almost worth trying carve a piece out. Sorry about that, going off camera slightly. Trying to concentrate on what I'm doing rather than looking at the camera. Right, I'm just going to go through the back of this side. Okay, so that's through. So doing it again. Let's give that a test fit. Okay, so you get the idea there. And do the same thing on the other end with the spear head. And there's not much room to get a pin in here. You just want just enough just to get the end in. Okay, if you go too deep, it's going to end up splitting because that blade part is a lot thinner, as you can see. Yeah, it's slightly wider where it meets the pole, and that's the only bit you can drill out. So all it is, it's just a location hole really. There you go. But once it's glued on, that'll be fine. Yeah, so you get the idea. Yeah, that's going to go on there. That's going to go on there. And it'll be nice and straight. So I'm just going to glue this on. Just do a rough test fit. Okay. Some glue. What I'm going to do is just going to glue the shoulder on first. Okay. And gonna carefully do the hand. Just a tiny bit of glue. Just trying to line it up. Sorry, keep going too close to the camera. Okay, so he's coming along. And last but not least, just a small amount on the end. Just try and make sure it's straight all the way around. Okay. So there you go. So that's a nice straight pike. It's never gonna bend because it's very stiff metal we're using. All I'm going to have to do, I'm just going to let that glue set a bit harder, and I'm going to putty around the joins where the hand meets the wrist there, and also the shoulder where we attached the arm, and then it'll be good to go. So I'm just going to put him to one side and we'll let him dry. So here's that pike man again. You can see I've just puttied around the wrist and the shoulder joint as I said I would, and these are all ready to go. Now with regards to fixing these on, you can of course just glue them in place. I'm going to choose not to because I want them removable as casualties. So what I'm going to do is pin them into position with just one pin in a foot. That's all I need, into where they should be, either on the beast or in the howdah. Another method would be magnets. That's an option, which would require drilling a hole in the foot and a hole in the beast where you attach him, and putting a small magnet in each one, and then you can pull them off. But that's quite fiddly, and the pin option is going to work just as well for me, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now you're going to need to refer to your assembly guide for this to work out where they all go, because each orc has its own position. This one, obviously, as the beast master, he stands at the front. Okay, he's got one foot on the back and one foot on the front, so he's going to go in there. Okay, so what we're just going to do is pin his front foot to that hump on the beast. Okay, so just as before, we're just going to drill a hole and we're going to go up through the heel and into the actual leg. Once again, just be careful that you're going in the right direction. You don't want to come out the back of the calf, for instance, because you've got the drill at the wrong angle. Okay, you just want to go in maybe, I don't know, 3mm be enough. Okay. Just enough for the pin to go in. Okay, that's nice. So get the glue. Just a small drop on the hole. Set the pin. Like so. You can soak up some of the excess glue. Don't really want that all around the bottom. Okay, that seems to be set in nicely. And then, because this is going to the actual body of the beast, the pin can be a bit longer. Okay. Again, probably about 4mm I'm going for there. So just cut that off like so. And there you go. So that's a pin for the orc. Just got to put a hole where he's going to go. Okay, now these just want to get it right. Okay, I'm just going to apply a little bit of downward pressure just so I know where that hole's going to go. Okay, took me a while to spot that then, but basically just going to drill down into the beast. You want the same angle that the pin is, so they'll slide in nice and easy. Let's do a little test fit. Okay. Just gonna go in that a bit more. It's a bit tight. Okay, that's better. You don't want the hole too loose so that the orcs are wobbling around on top of the beast, but likewise you need it loose enough so it's going to come off when you want it to. So let's try that now. Okay, that works pretty well. Yeah. Now some people we'll want their holders separate to come off. The only reason I can think really why you'd want to do that is for transportation of the model for gaming. Mine's going to be glued eventually, which is why I haven't pinned it on, but you can, exactly the same principle, you could pin the actual holder to the beast as well. I'm going to opt not to do that, as like I say, it will be glued into position once the beast is painted. So, and that's pretty much all there is to pinning the Orcs on. You can see it's not visible at all, and if he was to get shot, well, it's a bad example because, as you know, the one of the other Orcs would take his place, so he's going to be sitting there anyway. But you can take him off if he is a casualty, just like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to refer to the assembly guide, work out where all these Orcs go, and then pin each foot in turn and drill holes in the appropriate places. So I'll come back when that's done. So what we've done is I've pinned each Orc in turn and arranged them, referring to the guide roughly how they're going to appear on the holder. I'll just give you a bit of a close up so you can see which legs I've opted for, just for ease of space on the holder. You can make a note of that if you wish. And the actual beast itself, you can see all the holes are in there now. That's where the front Orc goes. You've got two that sit on the back, one that sits on the rear, and you can see three small holes on each side of the holder. Okay, so we're just going to put that all together. I think hopefully it should all fit into place. Okay. Two. 3. 4. 5. 6. Bit tight this one. Let's say there's not a lot of room on here, so you've got to be careful where you're putting. Make sure your pins are in the right place. Okay. So he's on. So that's the 6 on the holder. You can see underneath the pins do protrude through the bottom ever so slightly, but that is not going to be a worry because they're going to be face down on the gaming table and you're not going to notice that at all. So let's pop those into place. So we've got our Beastmaster steering the thing. We've got The pointing guy at the back. And this guy goes here up against the chains. And then we've got one more on the rear of the model. Okay, in this one I've chosen to go through the shin of the orc, because that's the part that's most in contact with the beast. You can see the angle's not quite right on that one. You can just make out a small piece of pin, but that's not going to be too noticeable on the finished beast, hopefully. There we go, that's it. So that's it. We've got the base, and if you want to, you can pin the feet onto the base, or you can just glue it on, and that's pretty much it. All the orcs are in place. Yeah, it's looking pretty crowded, but that's why it's important to get everyone pinned in the right position and not just do it ad hoc. Work out where they all go and just place them carefully. So that one now is all ready for painting. That'll go off to my good friend Kev Lawrence, aka Dead Marsh Spectre, and he'll give that a very nice paint job, I'm sure. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful, along with part one. I know it's a bit lengthy, but thanks for sticking with it, and hopefully you've got something useful out of it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.